Hey, First Family, 'tis the season to talk about Love Local here in this video for Go and Tell. Hey again, this is Pastor David. It's time to get you something warm and yummy and talk some Go and Tell. Specifically, I want to break down for you today how we are loving local this holiday season. Now, I know you've probably already seen the video that Pastor Josh and I did out in the neighborhood where we introduced this several weeks back. And you may also know because of that we have a landing page on our website where you can access resources. I'll mention those a little bit later on. But what I want to do is I want to give you three things to keep in mind as we're doing this, three steps you can take to love local this holiday season. Now, first, let me just reiterate once again why we love local. Why do we decentralize our go and tell? And real simple. Number one, the Bible is clear that we are to be going out into the lost world to proclaim his gospel. We are on mission as a church to glorify Christ in everything that we do so that we can make disciples of all nations. And we want to do that here in Woodbridge and worldwide. And that is a go and tell activity. It's not a come and see activity, although there are times that we do have those, and that is actually part of our Love Local strategy for the holiday season. So we need you to be working in your neighborhoods, among your family and friends, your coworkers, your classmates. And, there was a historian that I wish I could remember his name. I've got the quote written down somewhere. You know how it is. You put it in a notebook, and then I've got like literally 20 plus years of notebooks in my office. I can't find it. So I'm going to butcher this. I can't attribute it to who it belongs to. But he's talking about how the church advanced during primarily the second, third century. So, at the end of the apostolic age, we have the early church here. How did the gospel go out? How did the churches continue to multiply and the gospel to spread? And he basically says it was nothing more than the Christians gossiping the gospel across the fence to their neighbor. That's it. Nothing big, nothing over the top, nothing that cost them lots of money, just being faithful and obedient to the commands of Jesus Christ to make disciples of all nations. And that is a verbal witness to those that are around us, beginning with our family, our neighbors, and so on. And so here's what we need you to do. Number one, make connections. These can be with neighbors that you already know, people that you've had relationships with. Maybe you've been in your neighborhood for quite a while and you know a number of your neighbors. Just reconnect with them. Just use those avenues that already exist. But also, you may want to meet new neighbors. Perhaps people have moved in over the last few months. You've not had a chance to meet them. Or maybe you've got some neighbors that your paths don't cross. But you know what? You want to make an effort to actually go, maybe knock on their door and just introduce yourselves, meet some new neighbors, make those connections. This is a great time of year for holiday hospitality. Through Thanksgiving and Christmas and even New Year's. Hospitality is a big part of how we celebrate. And so, even by doing things as simple as maybe baking some cookies and bringing them over, all the way up into inviting someone into your home for dinner or some sort of festive celebration that your family is doing. So, make those connections. And as you're making those connections, we want you to make invites. So what can I invite them to? Well, one of our big things that is a come and see opportunity is our Christmas production, which this year is Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which I'm very excited about. Number one, just as a literature junkie myself, look forward to seeing the production there on the stage. But because A Christmas Carol touches on many misconceptions about what does it mean to be a good person? What is Christmas all about? And that's going to create a bridge for us to clearly proclaim the gospel through that production and also through a time of actual gospel proclamation to everyone in the audience there at the end of the production. And so here's the great thing about this is that as you're making connections and you're inviting those lost and unchurched neighbors, what you're doing is you're basically putting them in the pew to, number one, enjoy a great production, but number two, to let their eyes see, their ears hear, their heart feel the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the gospel is the power to save. And so we are talking about hundreds of people that you know in our community having the chance to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ proclaimed to them through this Christmas production. That is on a scale that we have not done in years past. Let me just give you just a comparison. In years past, when we've had these big events, big community events, where in some cases a few thousand people will show up at our campus, the number of people who actually heard the gospel is in the tens. You're talking 40, maybe 50 people maximum. But there's a potential here for, we know, several hundred, maybe over 1,000 people to actually hear the gospel through this. And so much work's being put into this, so much effort by members of our church, members of our staff. It's going to be fantastic. And so this is a great way, as you're making connections, to then make the invite to say, hey, come check this out. It's going to be great. When they're there, hey, you know what? We'll take the rest and we'll do the gospel presentation so that you will have an opportunity for follow-up. But that's not the only invite that we have. Of course, we have our Christmas Eve service that we have every year. And this is especially for those that just want something traditional, maybe a little nostalgic and spiritual as part of their Christmas celebration. Our Christmas Eve services are, honestly, they are just wonderful times of worship, again, when the gospel is clearly proclaimed. So you make the connections, then you make the invites, a Christmas carol, Christmas Eve services, and then, of course, number 3, you follow up, because it doesn't just end because they have come and see. There's more go and tell that needs to happen. And this is a chance for you to deepen your relationship with those that you have connected with, neighbors and coworkers and classmates. Again, you can utilize good hospitality to do so, but you can also then take their experiences at a Christmas carol and at Christmas Eve and just ask them their thoughts, ask them what their experience is like. Hey, what did you enjoy about this? What did you think about what was shared? And just get into those conversations. But then we also are providing you with other opportunities for you to take next steps with your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers and classmates. We will be offering, once again, our Christianity Explored course after the first of the year. So kind of on the heels of all of our holiday connection and loving local and inviting and gospel proclamation, those that have had their interest piqued about Jesus and Christianity and what does it mean to follow Jesus, they can sign up for our Christianity Explored courses that will be starting on January 15th. In fact, that link, it stays open in Realm, and your Christianity Explored invitations that we've been using ever since last Easter are still good. And so we'll have more of those available to you as we begin the Christmas season, that you can use those to invite neighbors. Your neighbors can even sign up for Christianity Explored when they come to a Christmas carol and our Christmas Eve services. But also, I hope you're part of a Bible fellowship group, because this is another great way to follow up. You're already studying the Bible in Christian community. Invite your neighbors who have experienced the gospel to have a chance to know more about the Bible, know more about God, Jesus, salvation, all these things, and invite them to your Bible fellowship group. Or, here's another wild idea. Consider starting your own Bible fellowship group among those neighbors that you invited who are now being open to talk about spiritual things. And we can help with that too. Speaking of helping you with all of this, we have provided resources to help you love local, not just this holiday season, but year round. You can go to our website at visitfbcw.org/love local, and we have the Love Local Neighbors course that you can take for free that we've put together for you. You can access over 101 ideas to connect with your neighbors. All right, so no excuse. There's plenty of things out there. And you can also access other resources that we have there as well. Digital invites for a Christmas carol that you can use. You can print those out. You can also post those on social media to invite friends and family. And we have even more things that are coming. And one of the unique things that we've added to our Love Local resources are virtual prayer walks. Prayer is such an important foundation in loving local, and we really encourage you to pray for your neighbors in your neighborhood. And to help you do that, we have virtual prayer walks that you can access. You can actually just put in your headphones and you can listen to this. It's a guided prayer walk. We have one that is just a general prayer walk. We have one out now for Thanksgiving. Another one will come for Christmas. Another one for New Year's. And we're going to keep adding these. And eventually we will have a 365 prayer walk opportunity with multiple times during the year that you can access these. And it just prompts to help you pray for your neighbors as you love local and make disciples right where God has planted you. And he's put you there for a purpose. He's put your neighbors there for a purpose. And we want to help you maximize that this holiday season. So let's love local together as we seek to glorify Christ by making disciples of all nations. I can't wait to see all that God does in and through FBCW to win for himself worshipers from every language, nation, tribe, and tongue as we proclaim, as we gossip the gospel over the fence to our neighbors, as we make disciples, as we go and tell.